Recently, I was scrolling on TikTok and I was recommended a clip with 34 million views. And while this is a lot of views, that's not that uncommon on TikTok. But what was interesting to me is that the video was generated using AI.
Who's the stupidest person you've ever met? And what story perfectly sums up their stupidity?
So I went to the profile and I noticed that every video was generated using AI. Yet the account still has a whopping 1.9 million followers. And the videos are simple. They're interesting stories pulled from Reddit that are read out using AI generated voices. Overlay that over some random gameplay footage and you've got yourself a viral video. And so this is what really got me interested in AI content creation. So I did some research and there's already a ton of channels that are fully automated by AI that are generating substantial income and tons of views. And this goes anywhere from creators using AI tools to help them with simple aspects of the content creation process, anywhere from that to fully automated AI YouTube videos. I found it really interesting, so in this video I'm going to create a faceless YouTube channel and start putting out fully automated content. And I'll take you through the entire process of generating both long form and short form AI generated content. That way you can choose which platform or format you want to create the content in. So let's get started. All right, so the first step is creating our new YouTube channel. So I made a new Google account for it. And if we go to the top right and we hit create a channel, now we can decide what kind of content are we going to create. Now there's a ton of opportunity with long form faceless YouTube content, but right off the top of my head, 3 niches came to mind. I'm really good friends with a popular self-improvement YouTuber, and I know there's a huge audience for that kind of content right now. And I also know there's extremely popular self-improvement YouTubers with millions of subscribers that are already creating long-form faceless content. Another niche with an extremely large audience would be movie or TV show reviews, and a lot of these channels already are creating successful long-form faceless content. So with something like that, it would be as simple as just using AI to generate a synopsis or summary of a movie or TV show, and then I'd use AI audio generation to read the synopsis or summary, and then just overlay it over some video footage of the movie or TV show. Now, I'm not going to pick these niches because they're already pretty saturated, and I want to stick to what inspired me to do this in the first place, which is the Reddit stories. Now, I had no idea what to name my channel, so I asked ChatGPT. Now, ChatGPT gave me a ton of great suggestions, but I'm going to go with Story Spiral because it's catchy, and then later on, if I no longer want to create Reddit story content, that gives me some room to transition my channel a little bit. So our channel is called Story Spiral now, and look, we get the handle. So now our new channel, Story Spiral, has been created. But of course, now we need a cool YouTube avatar. For our YouTube avatar, I'm going to head over to a platform called DALL-E, which generates AI images. So I'm going to enter a cartoon storybook swirling around within a tornado. And look at that, just like I thought, these are pretty cool. So I'm going to click on this one and I'm going to download it. All right, great. Now we've got our YouTube avatar. All right, so now that we have our channel, we actually have to create some content. Now there's 3 main things we need in order to create YouTube content. The first thing we need is a script, and since the channel is called Story Spiral, that's just going to be a story. The second thing we'll need is audio, and that's going to be some kind of AI generated narration. And then last but not least, we'll need visuals, so that could be some kind of image or video footage. All right, so let's just go in order. First, we need a script. Now I asked ChatGPT if it had some full-length crazy Reddit stories, but it said it didn't have access to Reddit. It did, however, let me know that it could generate unique, interesting stories from scratch, so if I no longer wanted to do Reddit stories, I could do these instead. But in this case, since we want to do Reddit, I'm just going to look for a cool Reddit story myself. All right, so to find some authentic, funny Reddit stories, I typed in funny long Reddit stories, and let's see what we come up with. So in the very popular Ask Reddit subreddit, which has 40.6 million members, we have the question, what is the funniest real life story you could tell? And so now I could just browse through the responses here and read these stories, and whichever one I think is the funniest, I could select. And so obviously, if I wanted to do a long format video, then I'd want a longer story, and short format would be shorter story. Since this is my first time generating AI content, let's start with a simple story. So I scrolled down and I found someone that wrote a story about being in biology class. So I copied our prompt and that story into a blank document. And remember, we could have also generated a story like this using an AI tool like ChatGPT, but if we wanted an authentic Reddit story, we've got one. So now I need to use an AI tool to narrate the story for me. And to do that, I'm going to head over to Murf.ai, which provides high quality AI voices for situations like this. They've got over 120 text-to-speech voices in over 20 languages. This is also the perfect AI voice tool to use for something like this because it allows you to add video, music, or images. And you're also able to modify properties of the AI voices like pitch, emphasis, speed, interjections. And if you really wanted to make it sound natural, you could use Murf.ai to convert your home recordings into professional voiceovers. So you could record yourself telling the story first and then modify it using AI to make it sound more professional. So MurphAI has both free and premium features, but once you're signed in, you can go over to your projects and create a new project. Now you get to choose between audio and video, and in this case we're going to do a video, right? Because we're doing YouTube content. We're going to click social media because that's what we're doing. And so once we've created our project, we can now enter our text to turn into speech. So I've copied all the text from the Reddit story over to a blank document. So let's start with the prompt. So just enter the prompt up at the top, and it says, what is the funniest real life story you can tell? And so if we hit generate audio on the right, we can hear it back.
What is the funniest real life story you can tell?
There we see our prompt was just narrated using an AI voice. And it sounded pretty good, but that was just the default. So we could play around with this a lot. You could select on the voice and then start looking. And obviously there's a bunch of free and premium voices, like I said.
Of a mother for her children.
Introducing Perfect Meal.
Thank you for enrolling.
I remember the time I was waiting for weeks just to get this project done, and when I...
So in this case, let's say I like the Rachel voice, for example.
What is the funniest real-life story you can tell?
But now what's cool is even if I like the voice, but it sounds a little bit weird, even though it does sound completely fine, if I wanted to change random properties of it, like pitch or speed, or I could add a pause through it, like if I just add a pause here, which doesn't really make any sense, and I could add extra strong pause right here for no reason. And I guess just to show other examples, like if I lower the pitch by 15%, it would sound like this.
What is the funniest real-life story you can tell?
So now it's pretty obvious we wouldn't want it to sound like that exactly, but it's cool that we can modify all of those properties and get it to sound pretty much exactly how we want it to. And what's also cool on the left-hand side, we have this tool that says import script, and we could also import media. So this tool is pretty awesome, and it's great because it's like an all-in-one kind of content creation suite. All right, so in this case, since we actually copied the story into a separate document, we can use that import script feature. So you just drag the script in, and now it says upload complete. And once you've imported the script, you can actually split it up by sentences or paragraphs. So this is what it looks like with paragraphs. This is what it looks like with sentences. But it's pretty nice because if you want multiple different voices, you could have different AI voice actors, and then you could actually construct a dialogue. So we'll actually want to do that in this case. So let's split it up by paragraphs. And then it's actually pretty easy to just drag and drop different sentences or paragraphs and put them all together. And what's cool is much like video editing software, at the bottom, you'll have all of these audios split up, and you'll have a section for video and music. So I think what's best for these Reddit videos is if there's a prompt like what is the funniest real life story you could tell, we could have that be one voice actor, and then the response or the story can be with another AI voice actor. So for this story, Rachel's going to ask the prompt, which is what is the funniest story, and then Marcus is going to tell the story. So let's get a little snippet of what this would sound like.
What is the funniest real-life story you can tell?
Back in year 12, we had a practical for biology class that involved a trip on this thing. It's called Skyrail. It makes a bunch of stops as it progresses up a mountain. We were to collect samples at each place and compare them to the final location atop the mountain.
So I'm not going to play the full thing right now because as we can see, the full story is around 2 minutes long. But that's already a bulk of the AI content creation process completed pretty quickly. Now for a lot of these viral clips, for the visuals on these Reddit stories, I'm just seeing a lot of random video gameplay footage. I guess people like listening to the audio of a Reddit story while watching some random gameplay footage. But of course, if you wanted to, you could also add visuals that match to the story. So I looked up Minecraft gameplay on YouTube, and what's nice about Murf is I hit add video and you could actually import from a YouTube video URL. Now I don't actually have ownership over this content, so if I were to try and monetize my AI content creation, I would need to make sure that I had the rights to do so. Now if that's something you're worried about with these gameplay visuals, then what you want to do is just record your own gameplay. Something that's also cool about Murf is they have a bunch of stock images and videos that you can actually use. So now we have the Minecraft gameplay synced up with the AI narration, and let's see what that looks like.
What is the funniest real-life story you can tell?
Back in year 12, we had a practical for biology class that involved a trip on this thing. It's called Skyrail.
So as we can see, this is already getting extremely close to what those viral Reddit story videos look like. There's only a few really small differences, one of those being captions. And what's great about MurphAI is now that we have our gameplay synced up to the AI narration, we can now export our video. All you have to do is go up to the top right, click export, and choose how you want to export it. And depending on what platform you want to post on, whether it's short form or long form content, you could go down to the bottom and easily modify the format that you export in. So for YouTube, you'd export as landscape, but for something like TikTok, you'd export as portrait. And in this case, I've already exported the video as a landscape video, and now all we need to do is add those captions. Now there's a ton of different platforms you could upload the video to auto add those captions, right? This technology is not really new. It's been around for a long time. YouTube automatically does it with video. In this case, I uploaded to a platform called v.io. And right on the left, it has an option for subtitles, and we could add these subtitles in a bunch of different styles. But since we're doing it over video gameplay, I'm going to use one where there's a background to the text, so yellow and black. I'll move the subtitles close to the bottom of the video and then we'll re-export. And then last but not least, we'll just throw the video into some standard video editing software and add our prompt directly in the middle of the video. So we'll just take a regular screenshot from the original Reddit prompt. And I'm only doing it like this because this is how it looks on most of these Reddit viral clips. All right, so that's it. It only took 10 to 15 minutes and now my first AI generated piece of content is ready to be uploaded to YouTube.
What is the funniest real-life story you can tell?
Back in year 12, we had a practical for a biology class that involved a trip on this thing. It's called Skyrail.
Now, since this was my first time creating AI content, we took a shorter story, so it's only a 2-minute video. But I actually looked into it a little bit more, and there are dozens of these Reddit storytelling AI generated content accounts on TikTok, and a lot of them are really popular. And what was interesting to me is I actually tried to look up some of these stories from the viral clips on Reddit, and they didn't actually exist. So what I think is really happening is people are either coming up with crazy stories themselves or using something like ChatGPT to generate really, really crazy stories and then acting like they came from Reddit. Either way, this is just a basic introduction into the world of AI generated content. There's so many different niches, different types of content, and different tools you can use to get this done. And there's a ton of opportunity here. So if you can get a workflow down where you could pump out a few of these videos very quickly per day, you could probably grow a successful social media brand using AI generated content. So whether you're trying to get exposure for a brand or marketing, or you want to do it for fun, or you want to generate income, this is definitely something worth looking into. Now, full disclosure, when I decided to do this video, I did reach out to MurphAI because I think it's one of the cooler platforms to do this with, and they decided to sponsor this video. It is free to use, so you guys can go use it, but there are some pretty cool premium features if you want to check those out. And if you just thought it was a pretty cool tool, definitely go into the link in the description and check it out. Sign up with an account. So that's pretty much it for this video. If you want to check out my new AI generated content channel, I'll link that in the description below. And I'm going to be posting on it for the next 2 weeks to a month and see if I can get some kind of update video with some success, hopefully. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel because that always helps. And if you want to connect with me more personally, follow me on Instagram or Twitter. All right, that's it. See you guys on the next one. Peace.